These are the 4 behaviours that will make you a dream candidate for any interviewer. What's up guys, it's Mike from Job Ready English here with another video to help you get hired. Recently I was on a one-to-one call with a client and he asked me a question which I thought was super interesting that I wanted to share with you. His question was, what are the 4 most important behaviours or characteristics that you feel in your experience every interviewer is looking for? And it really made me stop and think because he was talking about any interview, any position, any company. And I thought back through my experience of taking people through interviews since 2013. And I listed out my 4, which was enthusiastic, concise, clear, and well-informed. Now, what do I mean by these 4 behaviors? So enthusiasm is basically, hey, I'm really excited to be here. This is a great opportunity. Just bringing that energy, bringing that real positive vibe to an interviewer. Just bringing an energy, a real positive vibe to the interview. The reason being, and this is really common with people who are overly rehearsed or who spend ages memorizing their script, they come across as bored, disinterested, they've got poor eye contact, they're just generally looking a little bit glum. And that's the way that you're going to come across. Attitude really is everything. How you say it is really more important than what you say. And that is conveyed through your enthusiasm. Look like you're genuinely excited to be there, even if you're not. Otherwise, why do I care? Why am I going to give you an interview? Otherwise, why does the interviewer care? Why are they going to pass you through to the next stage if you can't even be bothered to bring the thunder for your interview? Concise is really about using the minimum amount of words required. And this is something that comes through practice. When I talk about being concise, I just mean a lot of times when people treat interviews like they're having a conversation, they ramble, they throw out random details. They think, well, actually, you know that person who asks a question and then answers their question and then says, no, actually, I wanted to give a different answer. And you're just like, what are they talking about? What's actually happening here? So being concise is just about being as short as possible with your answers. Ideally, you want to base your scripts, your answers at about 100 words per minute. So if you think, well, I've got 2 minutes to answer, that's 200 words. The reason being is something that I noticed for the first couple of years of when I was doing one-to-one interview coaching with people is that less than 100 words made people sound a little bit slow. And if they're talking really fast, like they just want to communicate everything that's going on in their mind, I can't understand what it is that they're saying. So 100 words per minute is about the sweet spot. Some of you may speak a bit slower, some of you a little bit faster. You will definitely know somebody who speaks at over 125 words per minute. Now, what do I mean when I'm talking about clear? Are the ideas that you're communicating clear? Is the skills that you're trying to meet clear? Is your understanding of the role, the company, is that clear? Can you communicate in a clear way in terms of using evidence, proof, facts, figures in what it is that you want to communicate? Or are you a little bit dithery? Are you just kind of talking about this and then talking about something else? You're really clear in the points that you're making. An important thing to recognize, both for being concise and being clear, and I'll explain to you about how you can be good at all 4 of these points in your next interview, is clarity really comes from having a clear idea of what you want to say and the outcome that you want to achieve. Clarity comes from knowing what it is that you want to communicate to the interviewer, what you want them to believe and how you want to influence them. And finally, what do I mean by well-informed? Well, this is really based around motivational questions and commercial awareness questions. Do you have your 5 fast facts about the company? Do you have the job description? Do you know the job description? Do you know what you would do day to day? Do you know the skills and responsibilities for the job? Have you done a little bit of research about the company? 10, 15 minutes, doesn't have to be any longer than that, but just knowing a little bit more than what I call cookie cutter answers. And most people put very little effort into delivering a good answer. They're just gonna treat an interview like it's a conversation. They're gonna be too arrogant to do their homework and they will come across as really poorly informed. And the same also goes for some sort of commercial or industrial awareness. Do you know about a recent piece of business news? Have you signed up for a newsletter in that industry? These are all ways that you can be better informed in terms of your interview when you get to it. Now, how can you prepare for all of these and what's the ranking for them? Now, interestingly, the client today turned around and said to me, right, okay, so these 4 things are important: enthusiastic, concise, clear, well-informed. But actually, what's the most important? And I really had to pause and think about this. And when I ranked it out, this may surprise you. So I said, most important is being clear, then concise, then well-informed, and finally enthusiastic. Now I'm going to reverse this and explain why. So why isn't just enthusiasm important? Because everybody knows a happy moron, right? Just being enthusiastic isn't enough. Just being well-informed is not enough, because you could deliver it in a way that's divery, rambly, boring, monotone, and the way that you come across just sends me to sleep. Being concise is important, but not as important as being clear, which is knowing exactly what you want to say. And the good thing is you can practice by yourself to be concise and to be clear. How do you do this? Well, number 1, write out your interview scripts. Know what interview questions are going to be asked based upon your research. If you're struggling to do any of these things, just check out our course in the description below. You can find all of this stuff in Interview Success Secrets or the 60-minute interview preparation pack. So you've got your script, you know what questions are going to be asked, then you start to practice your script, then you start to practice without your script, then you start to practice in front of the mirror, then you start to record yourself. I guarantee you, if you went through each of your answers just using your star stories, if you don't know what those are, then you're going to have to check out the Interview Success Secrets pack. Your 5 or 6 examples that you've got, your best of, your hits, just using that, if you practice 3 times, you're going to do good. 6 times, you're going to do great. 9 times, you're going to absolutely nail the interview. Clarity and conciseness comes from the repetition, the practice, the volume, and the self-assessment. Or it could be you have somebody gives you feedback. It could be from a coach, like the client did with me today, one-to-one. These things you can do yourself. Anybody can do. Anybody can do those things. Anybody can learn how to be clear and concise, but there is no shortcut through the practice. Being well-informed, that's just about doing your research. Being enthusiastic, that's just about thinking, how much do you really want this job? How do you come across? Maybe ask your friends, ask people that know you and say, do I come across as enthusiastic? Am I interesting? Am I motivated? Interesting people are interested in other things. And if you don't, it's time to learn. A really good place to start is Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People. Guys, I hope that you enjoyed this video, this insight into one of my one-to-one coaching calls with my clients. If you wanted to book a one-to-one call with me, you can do so down in the description below. I do my consults now only every Thursday. If you like this video, please subscribe to the channel, because it really helps us and it helps us get seen by the people who need our help. And let us know how you felt about this video, if it helped you with your interview or if you've got an interview coming up. Bye.